Hello and welcome to our Social Hackers Academy info session. During this event, we will welcome students from all over the world who are interested in joining our career track. As you know, we are Social Hackers Academy, a non-profit organization that supports people from vulnerable backgrounds who want to learn code. Do you want to know how you can join our academy? Then keep on watching.
So let's start with a little bit about Social Hackers Academy. Social Hackers Academy is a non-profit organization that is being active for quite some time now, for more than 3 years. And what we're trying to do here at Social Hackers Academy is to provide education, tech education, mostly for people that belong to vulnerable groups, people that are either refugees, immigrants, unemployed. We try to enroll people and support them throughout our courses so that they can get some, they can learn some skills like web development, and then these people will be able to pursue a career in either web development, in programming, so work as coders or implement these skills, integrate these skills into their current background and their current research field or their current work. I see that some of you are raising your hands. Please feel free to pose your questions. Right now at Social Hacks Academy, we have one main course, which is the Frontend web development course. Let me guide you through the website. I will be posting also these notes, this Google document, in the link on the chat. So I will be updating, so keep the link. Currently, we are offering this front-end web development course. Its duration is for 6 months, as you will see, plus 1 month. What this 6 plus 1 means is that you will be going through a 6 months training course. You will learn all about front-end web development. I'm going to talk a little bit about front-end web development in a bit. And after these 6 months of training, you will be ready to create and submit an individual project. So you will try to combine all your knowledge, all the skills that you acquired through this 6 months training course, and create some sort of application, a web application, website, submit it, let us review your final project, and after your final project has been submitted and accepted and evaluated, you will be able to graduate and get your certificate as a front-end web developer. So it's 6 months of training, and then you're going to have 1 month on your own to work on this final project. In total, 7 months, after which you will be graduating and getting your certificate. Now, a little bit about front-end web development. So what is the web? Whenever you open your browser and you visit a web page, whenever you use some kind of web application through your browser, for example, you access Facebook, you access Instagram, you access Twitter, you access some online game, there's some online game, you use an application like the Google documents that we see now, Google Spreadsheet, Microsoft Word, drawing program. So whenever you open the browser, you're actually into the web, you're actually visiting the web, and the browser is actually called a web browser or a web client. So all the resources that are available through your browser is what we call in general the web. Mostly what we tend to visit and use in our everyday browsing process is, of course, websites. We go to websites, we connect to websites and check the news. We use our email services like Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail. So we also send and receive emails through the web. In short, everything that you see whenever you open a web browser is what web developers create and develop. So this is what web development is all about: creating these websites, these web applications that we use every day and we access through our browsers. Now, there are two parts on the web development area, let's say. So let me give a little bit of a sketch here. So on the right side, I'm going to draw a browser, or at least I will try to draw a browser. And whenever we open the browser, we enter some web address like, I don't know, google.com. And after a few minutes or seconds, not minutes, seconds, we see some content displayed on our web browser. We search, for example, for web development or some keyword, with some keyword in Google, and after a few seconds, we get to see the results back on our web browser. Now, the way that this happens is that somewhere on the internet, there is a computer. I will try to draw now a computer. Here we have our PC or our laptop, and we are running a web browser application, and we connect to a website. So whenever we put an address and we search something through the browser, our browser connects through the internet. So I will create a cloud. This is supposed to be the internet. So my browser connects to the internet, and through the internet finds a web server, or server for short for now, which is a computer that is connected to the internet all day long. A server is just a computer that's connected to the internet and it never gets switched off. We connect to a server and we download a file that is full of code written in three main languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Everything that you see out there through your browser is created through these three languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All the content that we get to see on our browser is actually made up of these three languages, of code expressed in these three languages. So whenever we open an address and we try to access a web page, what happens is that our browser requests for a web page a file that contains code written in these languages. The file gets downloaded in our to our computer, and through our web browser, this code, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, starts creating the content. The text that you see, the images that you see, the videos that you see, the audio files are contained in the HTML code. So the text content, the structure of the web page, of each web page is created using the language called HTML. So once this HTML code is on our computer, our browser starts building the content, everything that you see on a web page. On top of HTML, we get CSS, which is another language that is responsible for styling the content. For example, adding color on our web page, giving some uh, layout variations, the typography that you see on the web pages, the different fonts, the different types, the different weight. So think of CSS as the decorator of your web pages. I'm just adding some colors here. But CSS is all about making the content a little bit more readable, a little bit more attractive. So this is the CSS. Everything that we see in a web page is made through HTML. That is the content. The CSS is the decorator. It applies the styling to our web page. And then the third language, JavaScript or JS for short, is what make these websites, make this content available for, let's say, interaction. This programming language, JavaScript is a programming language, makes our web pages come live. So without JavaScript, we get to see some content, read some web page, read the news, let's say, see photos or something, and that's it. But with JavaScript, we can interact with a web page. So we can click around, we can drag and drop things, we can move things around, we can play a game, we can, I don't know, submit forms, we can start to act on the page. So with JavaScript, our web pages become web applications. We are able to apply any kind of logic through this programming language. And instead of just creating a static, as we say, content, some text, a blog post, or some images, we're able to make games out of these web pages, make applications, make quizzes, make any kind of application that we can imagine. The capabilities of the browsers nowadays are amazing. You can do things that we couldn't imagine back a few years. You can use your computer's microphone, you can use your computer's camera to receive images, to upload images, to transform images, to chat with other people. So all this is made available through these three languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, in our course, you will learn how to write this with these three languages. As a front-end developer, you will be able to understand and work with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and so be able to work and create websites and web pages and web applications, things that run on the web browser. It can be either a very simple web page about, let's say, who you are and what you are doing, or a web page that describes or talks about the topic, environmental issues, some educational resources, or whatever you can think of. But it can be also as complicated as you want. For example, you can create a game that runs through a web browser, or you can create an application that calculates, I don't know, your tax reports, or calculate anything you would like to to work on. And this part here, I'm going to draw a line here. So working with these three languages to create things that run through the browser is what is known as the front end, because this is what we tend to see whenever we open a browser. This is the front part of the web and the web applications. We're talking about websites, web pages, or web applications, things that run through the browser. And whatever we actually open through a browser, it's considered the front end. As a front-end developer, you will be creating and working on this part. Now, there are cases where there might be some code running on the server. So for example, on this computer, we might have a programming language, another programming language. Let's say this will be Java or Python or some other language. And at this point, you will be creating programs that run and execute on the web server. This code, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, gets compiled and run on the browser. So you download the code and it starts executing on your computer through your browser. If you have code running on this computer on the web server or on the server, this is considered the backend or backend development. So if you run code that gets executed on the server, you are becoming a backend developer. If you are writing code in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code that gets executed on the browser, you are running front-end development. You are a front-end developer. Through this course, you will become a front-end developer, and you will also acquire some skills. You will learn about some tools and some services that will enable you to touch a little bit the backend. You will learn a little bit about how it is to be a backend developer. So you will be able to do some things on the backend. But the main focus of this course is to learn about these three languages and work on the front end. Now, as I've probably mentioned, with this acquired knowledge, you will be able to create whatever you can imagine. The possibilities are endless. We can create these days any kind of application that we want using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, starting from simple websites to very complicated applications. This is the course that will get you into this area and learn how to become a front-end web developer. You can visit this page. You will find the link right here. This is the link on the notes. I will paste the notes again for those of you who just joined. You can see our content, the course content, the syllabus, so you can go here and take a look at what you will be learning. A little bit about the content. You're going to learn how to install and set up a developing environment on your computer. You will be creating some accounts on services that are required in order for you to work, learn web development. You will learn about what is known as version control. You will learn a tool called Git. Version control is about keeping a history of your code, of the changes that happen to your code. So instead of replacing your code every time you change something, you just keep these changes and you can go back whenever you want and restore some previous code, some previous changes, or revert something that you just changed. And this is very, very important skill. And then you will go and you will go through the basics of the front end. You will learn a little bit about HTML, CSS, the developers tools that we use. You will get an introduction and start learning how to program using JavaScript. You can see the contents here. And after this, let's say, preliminary basic the fundamentals of the front end of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you will start diving more deeply into these three languages. After the basics, you will get into a more detailed course or series of lessons on HTML and CSS. You will learn everything you need to know to create a basic HTML page structure, to displaying and inputting data. You learn about responsive design, displaying your content not only in a laptop or in a desktop computer, but also on mobile phones and on smartphones and on tablets. And then after you've gone through the HTML and CSS lessons, you will dive into JavaScript. You will learn all about JavaScript in detail and about certain JavaScript libraries like jQuery, very, very popular library created on top of JavaScript. And you will also learn about a very popular front-end framework called React.js, which was created and maintained by Facebook and a large community of developers. This is pretty popular, and it's a skill that it's really required in many companies out there that are hiring front-end developers. And at the end, you will go to learn a little bit about what I've talked before about touching a little bit the backend. So in the serverless architecture section, you will learn about some services and some tools that enable you, a front-end developer, to create and use some kind of backend services to store, for example, data on a server, to create a chat application, and all of this without learning or touching backend technologies or programming languages. So just with your existing knowledge of the front-end languages, you will be able to use some of the power of backend area without actually learning any new programming language or tool. So with all this knowledge, you will be able to create some really cool applications or web pages or websites. And you can apply this knowledge to even create mobile applications or even desktop applications. Front-end technologies are now used to create applications for our mobile phones, for iOS devices, for tablets, for Android phones, and they are also used to create desktop applications like Adobe Photoshop or Microsoft Word or Skype or even the Zoom client that we're using. These kind of applications, these desktop applications, as we call them, the applications that you download and run on your computer, even when you're offline, we can also create this kind of applications using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which is something I believe amazing. So there are lots of things that you can do with these three languages. Now, let me walk you through the process of arriving at this point and starting the course. So first of all, we have to see if if you are eligible for the scholarship. If you belong to a group that is considered vulnerable, there are some factors that will prove, for example, that you are eligible for a scholarship, that you belong to a vulnerable group. If, for example, you are more than 6 months unemployed, and other, of course, conditions. You will first have to visit our website and fill our eligibility form. So the first thing that you will do is that you will have to go to this link here, the eligibility form. And once it loads, you will have to fill in this form and submit it. Make sure that you enter all required information, the fields with the asterisk. Now, you have to be very careful about uploading all the necessary information, about giving us all the details that we need in order to learn more about you and your background and your current situation. So after you submitted the form, we are going to receive this form. So we go from step 1, which is filling out the eligibility form and submitting the documents. For example, if you're unemployed, you must upload a document that proves that you are unemployed. If you're a refugee, you will upload your papers that prove that you are a refugee or an asylum seeker. The SHA team then will receive this request, will receive this document, and it will start reviewing its application. After which, you will be able to get a response through email. You can also, during this process, if you have any questions or if you feel that, I don't know, some days passed and you didn't receive a response and you want to get a feedback, some of these applications take some time. You can also reach out to this email that I'm going to put here on the notes. This is the email for the admissions process. So if you're interested in submitting your form, into getting a scholarship, or asking, have any questions before going through the form or after you have submitted the form, you can always reach us through this email. And we tend to respond in a few hours. So the review process will come to a point where you will receive an email with a link to our pre-course. Now, if you are ready to get on board, there is a pre-course, a small course that you will have to complete, go through and complete and finish in order to be able to enroll in the main course. So once you receive this email, after, of course, we have reviewed your application, you will receive a link to enroll in the pre-course. So let me visit the pre-course. Now, our pre-course, here are our available courses. The pre-course is a short course that we created in order to get you started with programming and prepare you for the main course. The pre-course is supposed to take maximum 1 month to complete. It will probably take you 1 week or 2 maximum. There's a limit, of course, to a month. Most of the times, the average time that it takes for an applicant to go through the course, through the pre-course, is 1 to 2 weeks. So this is a very short course that will introduce you to programming with the Python programming language. So let me open this, the course content. You will start learning about programming through one of the most popular and also easy to begin with programming languages. So you will have to go through this course. You have to watch some screencasts, you have to read some articles, you have to complete some quizzes, and then at the end of this pre-course, once you finish all these lessons, you will have to get and provide us a certificate from a website called SoloLearn, which certifies people that have gone through and know about Python. So you will get a certificate, you will finish the pre-course, and after you have finished the pre-course, we will evaluate your progress, and we will enroll you in the main course, the Frontend web development. We need you to go through this process because we really want to see how devoted you are. We really want to see how you take up the time and you dedicate the time that is required to go through some of the lessons. And of course, you will gain some very basic knowledge that will help you in the main course. Even though we're dealing with different languages, you are going to go through Python in the pre-course and you are going to learn JavaScript through the main course. The main fundamental concepts of programming are the same in most of the programming languages. So the skills and the knowledge that you will acquire from the PreCourse will help you in many ways um, uh, in the main course. So you finished the pre-course, you got the solo learn certificate, you finished the pre-course, you completed the pre-course, and then you go to the next step. The next step is that you are ready and you're going to have a short interview um, with one of the members of our admissions team. You will receive an email and you will just schedule a call and we'll be able to learn a little bit more about you. And after this interview is finished, you will receive an email confirming the access to our course. Then you will be ready to start the main course. You will have access to the main course and you will be ready to start going through the lessons of the main front-end web development course. The course starts on June 30th. So you will see that we're starting on the 30th of June. It's not a course that you will have to take, let's say, to go through by on your own. This will be there will be a class of students. There are teams. Each class is made up of smaller groups of students. So you will be working not only as a class, but also as member of a team. You will never be alone. You will always be you will always get the help and support from your mentors, your instructors, and of help from other students. We are using a platform called Slack. So this is our Slack platform. Once you are enrolled in the course, you will become part, you will be invited in this platform. You will see here the Slack channel for one of the classes that is currently running. This is the December cohort. They started front-end web development in December 2020. And in here, you will find all the other students. You will see here the mentors, the instructors, and all of the students that belong to this class. And you will be getting all sorts of feedback, information, notifications, news, updates from Slack, but you will also be engaging in discussion with your fellow classmates, with your instructors. There's also a channel where you can find help. So there is Ask Anything channel, where you will see students asking questions and mentors and instructors helping each other. So all the process is maintained through this platform. And of course, there will be live sessions throughout this course. There will be 2 live sessions per week that you must attend. There will also be weekly student meetings. So apart from the instructor-led live sessions, you will be connecting in live meetings with your classmates, and you will be going through exercises, you will be practicing together, and you will be also working on projects together. So you're going to get a lot of support, and you will be, this is not like an individual effort. This is not a course, an online course that you will have to complete on your own. You will always have the support of other people, students, mentors, instructors. Now let's go to some questions. Let me just note that let's say something about the time that you need to dedicate. So as you will see here in the notes, you will need to dedicate at least 4 hours per day. So this is a pretty demanding course. We have students studying for 8 and more hours, but The minimum requirement is at least 4 hours. If you want to succeed, if you really want to make it and graduate, you will need to have enough time to devote on this course. So at least 4 hours per day. The daily sessions are around 2.5 hours with a short break. So on these days, you will also have to attend the live sessions and then spend more time on the projects, on the assignments, on what we've covered in these live sessions. Now, let's go to some questions. Costas, do you grade our answers on the pre-course at the end of every quiz or at the end of the course? This is a great question. So during the pre-course, you will have to go through some of the, so you will have to go submit all the quizzes. So there will be, for example, a lesson called conditionals, and then there's going to be Python quiz conditionals. You will see the instructions here, and then you have to submit your quiz. Once you submit your quiz, you submit your solution code, you will be able to finish the quiz and move on to the next step. You will have to complete each step in order to go to the next step. Okay, you cannot jump like around different topics or lessons. You have to complete each step and then move on to the next one. Now, the grading or the evaluation of this of the submitted code is done by our team, by our mentors, by our instructors, but is not done as you code along. So we will not be giving you immediate feedback or grading your quizzes immediately after your submission. But you will have to submit and finish this quiz and complete these quizzes. It often takes lots of time for us to go through all of these exercises, to go all of these submissions, to go through all of this code. So we will not be able to grade your answers immediately. There's always a comment section on all these pages. So whenever you need some help or you have a question regarding something that you found or some problem or some issue that you're experiencing in one of these lessons, you can also ask for help. You can also leave your comment, and someone, an instructor or another student, might help you with an answer. This is concerning this question. There is another question by Catalia. I need to know which English level you accept, and if I'm not eligible for your scholarship, can I have a discount? So let me go through, let me walk you through the available plans, let's say. So if you're eligible for the scholarship, you'll get on board and you will attend and go through the course for free. So let me go through to the web developer page. So if you're eligible for a scholarship, you will be part of this, the third plan. €0, $0. It will be completely free. If you're registered unemployed, if you're a refugee, if you're an asylum seeker, if you're a migrant, you will be able to participate without paying anything. There are also two other plans. So if you do not belong to a vulnerable group, you can either pay upfront, and there's also an offer, and or you can become part of this plan where you can study for free and then pay when you get a job. So if after the course, if after some time you are able to get a job as a developer and have an income, you will be able to pay the tuition fees afterwards. So there are these two plans available. If you think that if you are not eligible for the scholarship, for this third option here, and you feel that you might need some help or some discount, that's something that you have to discuss with one of our team members. I'm not aware of what kind of discount you're like talking or thinking, Catalia. You can always ask us and send us an email, and we can see if there's a discount that can be made. Another question is it possible to attend during weekdays? You have to attend during weekdays. So you have to attend at least 2 times per week the live sessions. This is for SHA. And you also have to attend 2 weekly student meetings. You can work on your own time. You don't have to be online all the time. You can study, you can go through the a course which is online. You can code on your own, you can work on your own time, but you have to be available during the weekdays because we have live sessions, we have student meetings, and there are many, many times where we have also guest lectures. People that support us, volunteers, come online and they organize webinars or short lectures on different topics. So you will be also able to attend this, and you must attend these guest lectures throughout the week. These are not like fixed events, let's say. These are supporters, volunteers of SHA. So they always give us, let us know when they are available, and then we organize and we prepare you, we notify you about these upcoming guest lectures. Another question, what time during the week start? Yes, that's a great question. So our live sessions, so let me write here. Our live sessions are at the live sessions start at 11 o'clock. This is Athens time zone. And they go until, that's 1:30. And the student meetings is something that you organize along with your teammates, your classmates. So we suggest and encourage you to keep the same time, so meet during these hours. But if your team and your fellow students decide that it's best for you or suits you to go online, meet in, I don't know, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the Saturdays, there are some classes that meet on Saturdays also. You can arrange your own time schedule. But the live sessions, they always take place at 11. They start at 11 and we finish at around 1:30. Another question regarding the English level that you need to have. So we really need you to be able to read and study through English material, English content, because all the content is available in English, all the sessions are available in English. So we just want you to have a level of understanding English through live sessions, and of course posts and material that you will find on either online or on our platform. We also need you to have a basic, let's say, a level of communicating with your mentors, with your instructors, with your classmates. I guess a basic level of English is needed for this course. If you can watch videos online that don't have subtitles, English videos, if you are able to read and study online through English with content in English language, and if you're able to communicate with people either through a messenger platform or through chat or through email in English, then you are ready to jump on board and able to communicate with our team and of course the other students. Now, which days are the weekly sessions? This is something that I cannot really say for sure right now. It will be either, let me also put this question here. So let me also. So now, what I can say for sure right now is it will be either Mondays and Tuesdays or Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. With the biggest possibility of Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now we have to wait a little bit to see how this goes, and we will be able to tell you about the fixed dates when we get close to the opening of the course. So most probably you will be have the live sessions on during Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's a slight chance that you will be on Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays and Wednesdays. Sorry for that. Let me see if we have any other questions. Let me know, please drop your questions. Let me see if I can the commitment that is expected. I think this I should also talk a little bit about this, because commitment not only involves like spending and devoting, let's say, at least 4 hours on studying and coding and practicing, but also means that you are committed in being part of the community, being available online on Slack, helping each other, supporting your team, supporting your classmates, submitting your exercise and your quizzes on time, being there on time during the live sessions, during the guest lectures, during the weekly student meetings, respect each other, of course, respect everyone. So we need this kind of commitment from you. Be on time, be supportive, be respectful, and engaged. We're always there to help you. If at any point you need any kind of help, you have some issues, maybe there are difficulties with the material, with the content, with any kind of issue, you always have to reach out to us, ask for help, and we can discuss together what kind of solutions might be available. Zagir asks if we will have any chance of live sessions around 6 p.m. Most of the times we only have live sessions, not live session exactly, but webinars or guest lectures at that time. When we have a guest lecturer, most of the times the guest lectures happen around that time. But for the live sessions, there will be the times will be from 11 o'clock onwards. I know, Zakir says that you sometimes you have other classes during this time. That is something that you should consider, Zakir. If you have other classes going on and you will not be available at these times, maybe this is something to consider, because even though the sessions are recorded and you always they're always available online, you can always watch the recorded session afterwards. We really want you to participate. We really want you to be there, to ask your questions, to code along with us. So make sure that you will be available during these hours and days where the live sessions and the student meetings take place. So let me see. Thank you for your questions, first of all. I think we are ready to wrap up. Let me know if there are any other questions. Yes, that's great, Zakir. If you have any further questions, you can always email us. You can reach us to our admissions at socialhackersacademy.org email. You can visit our websites. You can find the link on the top of the document page. This document page will be there online for you. So you can visit socialhackersacademy.org, browse through the website, see and learn more about our courses and about what we do. And let us know if you have any other questions. I hope that I'll see you enrolled in our course, and I hope to see you online soon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your questions. And I hope to see you starting your web development career this June. Thank you for attending and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Now you have all the information to join us in our next cohort. As you know, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email to admissions@socialhackersacademy.org. Thank you for your interest and follow up on our social media and website for more information.